Rescue efforts resumed in central Texas today as crews search for the people still unaccounted for from the deadly 4th of July flash flooding. Authorities have been monitoring that rising water level in Kerrville, which was hardest hit by the storms. At least 133 people have been killed and at least 160 remain missing. CBS News reporter Eleanor Watson joins us from the ground in Kerrville, Texas, with more on this. And Eleanor, how many National Guard troops are on the ground there in Texas, and how are those recovery efforts going as of now?
Yeah, well, we came down today with General Stephen Nordhaus, the head of the National Guard Bureau, so that he could meet with some of those members of the Texas National Guard who have been assisting in the recovery efforts, the rescue efforts after that devastating flood hit parts of Hill Country in Texas. The governor has activated here about 230 members of the National Guard. Those air crews, those National Guardsmen have participated in rescue efforts since day one and now have turned to recovery efforts. The General Nordhaus and Governor Abbott today wanted to meet with some of those members of the Guard and present them coins, thank them for the work that they're doing that will continue. They spoke to one member of the National Guard who, on July 4th, 2 of his air crews saved about 130 children from Camp Mystic. Now, that was on day one. Obviously, these rescue and recovery efforts will continue potentially for months, according to local officials.
And Eleanor, so many people want to help. What kind of aid is Texas getting from other states and even other countries?
Yeah, there are several other states who have contributed some members of the Guard, like Arizona, Arkansas, and North Dakota, who has also sent down an MQ-9 Reaper drone to assist in recovery and searching the debris along the river to see if they can find some semblance of some of the over 100 still missing 10 days after the devastating flood. In addition, this effort is international in a bit because Texas National Guard has a state partnership program with the Czech Republic. Some members of the Czech Republic's military, after working with the Texas National Guard since 1993, 16 members of the Czech Republic military came and are assisting with recovery efforts. They've brought 4 cadaver dogs as well as some military personnel who are trained in recovery efforts. So this mission now to find the over 100 missing is receiving support from not only other states, but also other countries.
All right, Eleanor Watson, thank you very much for your reporting.